There it is.
Why? Why did it have to be like this?
Monodora, if you'd be so kind as to perform the autopsy.
Will do, buckaroo. Now, class, please pay attention. If you look real close, you can see the tiny blood spots on her face that Mr. Corner mentioned earlier.
That's nasty!
On her right shoulder there, she has a bruise. And if you look to the left side of her head, you'll see a cylindrical-shaped object has been printed onto her skull.
For Marine's next forecast, she predicts that the bat will match the wound, Hawa.
Right you are! This wound was definitely inflicted by the bat.
Do you all see now? I am not the killer.
Or at least, you haven't lied about the autopsy report. Now, you're just as suspicious as the rest of us.
As expected, I didn't think that Mr. Rokudo lied about something that could so easily be proven.
Then why didn't Saiji defend himself?
I beg your pardon?
You noticed it too, right, Ayumu?
Huh? How did she read my thoughts like that?
You're probably thinking something like, how did she read my thoughts like that, right? I'm just really good at telling what people are thinking.
Well, that's something I have to be aware of.
Back to the topic. Why didn't you defend yourself, Saiji?
Doesn't matter. It has been proven that I did not lie about the autopsy report.
I think we should fully examine the body one more time.
There is no need to do anything of the sort. We have proven that I did not lie about the body. Let's just move on.
Sounds like someone's still hiding something.
I am not hiding anything, and I must stress that we should move on.
I think he still has something he needs to tell us.
Yeah, spit it out!
It would be best if you just ended this already.
Aruna-chan, you should totally use your talent to make him tell us.
Ah, you're right! Come on, you wild animal! Let your body flow with the fluids of the toes! Hiya!
Is no one else seriously fucking concerned about what she is doing?
I am not a wild animal, so I'm afraid your charm won't work on me. Additionally, there are no further discoveries to be made about the body. So can we please discuss something of greater importance?
Saiji, you're the worst liar I've ever seen.
Monodora, is there anything else currently on Maiko's body that we should know about?
Well, other than this bracelet that's in her pocket, nope.
A bracelet? Show us!
A bracelet? Why would that be relevant? Unless... oh no. I can tell where this is going.
Here you go. One bracelet, served fresh.
That's...
No fucking way.
Saiji's bracelet, alright.
I didn't notice until now, but Saiji, you are missing your bracelet.
That is correct, and I can confirm that that is my bracelet. But now, you've all made this trial much more complicated than it needs to be.
And what the fuck do you mean by that?
You. Why does she have your bracelet? Why does she have your bracelet?
The truth is,
Maybe she pulled it off of him when she was attacked?
could you please not cut me off? Anyway,
Or she needed it to summon a spirit.
Is that not your job?
I would just like to explain.
Maybe she just really liked his bracelet.
I don't think there's any evidence that shows when Saiji removed his bracelet, but we won't move on if we don't resolve this topic. Maybe I need to create some evidence on my own.
Why does she have your bracelet?
The truth is,
Maybe she pulled it off of him when she was attacked?
My lie will become the truth. I'm really sorry, everyone, but I just remembered something.
Which is...
Yesterday, while Saiji, Maiko, and I were exercising, Saiji gave Maiko his bracelet.
Ayumu?
Saiji's seen through the lie, but I believe in him. He's not the kind of person who would kill someone, I think.
Is this true, Saiji?
It's not.
Eh?
I'm not sure why you'd lie about such a thing, Ayumu. But when I came to tell you three about the meeting, Saiji still had his bracelet.
And the look on your face totally gave you away.
Come on, Ayumu. You'd seriously protect a murderer like that?
Alleged murderer.
Whatever.
Ms. Fujimori, I understand that you felt the need to protect Mr. Rokudo like that, but lying will not help us get any further towards the truth.
Right. I'm sorry, everyone.
Just make sure that it doesn't happen again. And Saiji, you have one last chance to tell us why Maiko had your bracelet. And just so you know, saying that you gave it to her isn't a valid excuse.
And if I did give it to her?
Then we'd vote you as the killer.
Fess up already. This is getting boring.
Just man up and tell us already!
Well, I did give her the bracelet. However, I gave it to her post-mortem.
Ugh, more words that I don't understand. Can someone translate?
He means that he gave her the bracelet after she died.
Indeed. It's a part of my body preparation rituals to help bring Maiko's soul into the afterlife.
And why would you do that, knowing that you'd draw more suspicion to yourself?
Admittedly, I did not realize this at first. When I did, it was too late, and trying to hide evidence doesn't exactly make you look innocent.
And you're not lying because...
Well, it makes logical sense if you think about it. If Maiko found or was given the bracelet before the murder, it probably has nothing to do with anything. If she and Saiji fought and she snatched his bracelet, it doesn't make sense that Maiko had time to put it in her pocket while she was fighting for her life. Saiji most likely would have disposed of it so we wouldn't suspect him.
I knew it! I knew he was innocent!
Is anyone else not getting this, or is it just me? Why did he get so worked up about that damn bracelet?
It was easy to explain, but...
Ooh, I know! Pick me! Pick me!
And Narumi, what's got you so in heat?
I bet that Saiji had a super big crush on Maiko! It's as Marine predicted. Marine forecasted that two of us here would fall in love.
Do you mind?
I don't hear him denying it.
I'll take note of this for future reference.
Future reference, you say?
Please.
Everyone, please stop. You're upsetting Saiji.
Hey Mikoto, can I have a copy of your notes for later?
No, you can record your own.
But how am I supposed to remember that Saiji over here was crushing on the dead girl?
That's enough! Please, no more.
Saiji, are you alright?
Maiko.
Hey, you've been awfully quiet.
Who? Me?
Yes, you. Who else would I be talking to?
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing? You didn't do anything wrong.
Sorry for that, too.
Oh my god. Anyway, what's your name?
I'm Saiji. Saiji Rokudo. And yourself?
Maiko Kagura, super high school level dancer. So... what kind of talent do you have? Wait, let me guess. Super high school level spy? You look kind of formal. No, wait. Super high school level businessman!
I must apologize, but I'm not any of those.
Again with the apologizing.
Sir, never mind. I'm the super high school level undertaker.
An undertaker? Isn't that like a wrestler dude or something? Wait, don't tell me that underneath that scrawny appearance, you're actually a super buff, really macho superstar?
Not quite. I deal with bodies and prepare them for funerals and such. Cremations, burials, coffins, urns, that sort of thing.
Well, that's still pretty cool.
Pardon me?
What? Something wrong?
No, it's just that... well, no one's really called my work cool before. In fact, I don't think anyone's really called it anything nice at all. She was the first person who ever complimented me on my work. And when she died, I had to give her the best funeral I could, as is my duty.
I think I'm gonna burst into tears.
Which is why I will not let her killer escape. If I were the killer, I would have confessed in front of you all before the trial had even started. But alas, that is not the case.
Saiji, I'm so sorry.
It's alright, Ayumu. It's not like I haven't lost people before. I just have to soldier on, for her sake. Let us continue with the trial.
Well, that was a colossal waste of our time.
Akira, after hearing all of that, do you still firmly believe in Saiji's guilt?
He's still not been proven innocent, but I admit, there's no reason for suspicion against him anymore.
If you say so. Saiji, I don't know what kind of stunt you're pulling, but just as even the mightiest tree still succumbs to the cold of winter, you too shall perish.
Is she jealous of Saiji? Nico may have been her best friend here, but she wasn't the only friend that Maiko made. Maiko, she had an effect on nearly everyone.
Wow! Saiji's innocence makes me so happy!
Yeah, let's party!
Now, my children. The trial isn't over yet.
Quite so. And I do believe that Ms. Fujimori was in the middle of speaking before the topic was derailed.
Don't look at me like that.
It was your fault.
Yeah, but now, whatever he says is more reliable. You really all should be thanking me.
Like hell I will!
Enough! Both of you. Now, Ayumu, I believe you had something to say.
Yeah. Anyway, so, as I was saying, we can deduce that the plate was used in the murder somehow, and that it wasn't the weapon used to beat Maiko's head. And if no one has any further objections to Saiji's autopsy report,
fine, whatever. Stupid.
Then we can safely conclude that the plate was the weapon used to suffocate Maiko. Somehow.
What do you mean, somehow?
I mean that I can't really figure out how the plate was used to suffocate her.
You can do better than that! I'm disappointed in you, Miss Fujimori.
Huh?
If you're going to make a claim as outlandish as that, you should be ready to back it up.
Outlandish?
So, Ms. Fujimori, why are you so confident that it was the plate that suffocated her? I find it very hard to believe that one can be suffocated by a flat object.
But that has to be it. There's no other way the plate could be involved in the murder.
Who said that the culprit even used the weapon? They could have just thrown it into the trash zone to throw us all off, even if they didn't. And considering all the evidence we have, there's nothing that shows how the plate could have been used to suffocate Ms. Kagura.
I'll cut your argument in two! Seishi, you figured it out already, didn't you? The truth behind Monodora's weapon. How did you find it? You know, you're right. There's no way that the plate could have been used to suffocate Maiko.
That's disappointing. I thought we might actually get somewhere with this trial.
Because Monodora's weapon wasn't originally a plate.
What?
Go on, Ms. Fujimori.
There's been one piece of evidence bothering me the entire time. It was so out of place. By all logic, it shouldn't have existed, and yet, it did.
Oh boy, I can tell this is gonna be a good one!
Are you going to tell us or not?
It's the paper towels. I have to thank Saiji for this, because without his talk about the girl, I never would have thought of it.
You're welcome, but what am I welcoming you for?
The true identity of Monodora's weapon was not a plate, but a pot. That is how Maiko suffocated. She was drowned.
Hola, Marine didn't expect that.
Shit, seriously?
Explain yourself at once, Ayumu. How do the paper towels prove that?
They were soaked with water and blood, so it's easy enough to explain. The blood came from Maiko's head wound, which is kinda obvious. As for the water, there are a couple of possibilities. It's hard to imagine that Maiko didn't struggle against her attacker, therefore spilling water. Additionally, water is quite heavy. If the culprit weren't strong enough, they would have to tip it all out on the floor to be able to move the pot to the trash zone. And if they wanted to hide the true murder weapon, they would have to remove any proof of water being there at the scene.
Yo, Monodora, want to confirm this?
Well, I can definitely say that the plate, well, pot, I mean. You know what, the weapon was a pot, and it's now a plate.
And there we go.
I knew you could do it, Ms. Fujimori.
Yeah, this changes absolutely nothing. May I remind you that Maiko was still hit with the bat? Who says that she wasn't drowned, fought back, and then hit with the bat?
He's right, you know.
Yeah, this means nothing.
There's no need to be so agitated, my dears.
Shut up!
Seems like there's trouble in the Mitsunari household.
You shut up too!
Eek! Well, for what it's worth, I'm with Ayumu on this one.
Even with Monodora's confirmation, I don't buy it. He could just be trying to throw us off the scent.
I'm sorry, Ayumu, but it is the same situation with myself as well. I'm afraid that I do not trust Monodora enough to lie about his weapon. And even so, a pot? That is quite a far-fetched theory.
But it's the truth we've reached.
No, it's the truth you've reached. Frankly, I find it quite illogical.
What's this? Is there a split argument between my lovely students?
Is there?
If that's the case, our class will hold its very own Scrum debate!
A scrum debate?
Hey, yes, one whole split into two, arguing the truth. You're all split into two teams and debate to the very best of your abilities. Now, let's get started. Did Maiko die by the bat or by drowning? On the bat side,
Akira.
Mitsunari.
Kego.
Misosu.
Miko.
Aruma.
Mikoto.
and on the drowning side,
Seishi.
Kasumi. Narumi.
Saiji.
Marine.
Kazuomi.
Ayumu.
Everyone ready? Let's begin!
The plate actually being a pot has no bearing on the murder itself, and we have no proof of what Monodora is saying.
Saiji!
The pot provides an alternate possibility of Maiko's cause of death, which is proved with my autopsy report.
We still shouldn't be taking Saiji's autopsy report for granted, seeing as he might be the killer.
Kazuomi!
Saiji's autopsy report says that something else was used. The paper towels fucking prove that!
The paper towels were obviously used to clean up the blood.
Kasumi!
They were used to absorb the water as well as the blood.
The culprit probably sipped a nice glass of water after their kill and spilled some of it.
Seishi!
There isn't nearly enough water in the towels for it to have been a simple spill.
The culprit could have tried to drown her first, then hit her with the bat.
Me! The bat would have been clean too, to remove any signs of the water. Please believe me, everyone. I promise you Maiko definitely died by drowning. I'm not letting you all die here because we refuse to believe in the truth. Because that's not hope, is it? Running away from the truth, just because we can't accept it. Because it seems scary and strange. To me, that sounds like despair. And we're not going to lose to it.
Boo boo! But haven't you already lost to it? Though you don't want to admit it, your minds are starting to sink in the dark depths of despair. Better yet, one of you have hit the very bottom. Despair has complete control over them. I'm so proud. And you want to know what the most despair-inducing thing is? We've been discussing for all this time, but you're still no closer to discovering who the Blacken is.
Wait, are you fucking serious?
Now that I think about it, we still haven't been able to identify the killer in the slightest.
We're all gonna die here!
It seems this is the end of Miko Himuro. I didn't even have the time to write my memoirs. Such bad luck has befallen myself.
Bad luck? Crap. That's probably my fault then. I got too hung up on the why and not the who. I'm sorry, everyone.
Quiet! Cease your chatter! This has been a long and strenuous story, all I know. But we are so close now. Success is within our grasp.
Aruma?
Yeah, don't worry, everyone. We're going to find the killer for sure.
I certainly hope so. Or else, we all die here.
How I'm feeling strangely calm now, thanks to Aruma-chan and Seiji-kun. In fact, I think I may just fall asleep.
Hey, you can't do that now! Nap later!
We have to grab victory from its hard and firm base and show Monodora who's boss.
And you totally fucking lost me.
Does she have to do that every time?
Getting back to the topic at hand, what do we know about the killer? We know that they probably weren't strong enough to lift the pot while there was water inside it, which could be almost everyone here. Also, they probably were the receiver of the pot, seeing as no one else piped up when we asked. I can't think. This doesn't help us, if anything.
Ayumu! Earth to Ayumu!
Oh, huh? Did you need something?
No, but do you? It looks like you were kind of deep in thought there.
I'm fine, but thank you. For asking, I mean.
So if we know how Ms. Kagura was murdered, we just have to figure out who could have done it, right?
We should call for everyone's alibis, right now.
As stated previously, Kasumi and I were in the bathhouse all night.
She's correct!
I was practicing my sick beats all night.
I can unfortunately confirm that.
Prove it.
It went something like... Right?
Yep, she's fine.
There was some live singing too, so he was definitely in his room. It went something like...
I said you're fine.
I think these rooms are less soundproof than Monodora said. Please take care of it, Monodora, before I have to myself.
Maybe later.
I was in my room writing, but I suppose I can't really prove that, now can I?
Shiga can confirm Daddy's innocence.
Yeah, we were keeping watch of him all night.
I'm afraid that the words of two mere puppets failed to convince me.
No fair.
You really shouldn't say things like that.
Now, settle down. These are the times we live in.
How hateful.
Marine was having sunny dreams all night long.
I was having dreams as well, though of a different nature. It involved a man named Richard and some cats.
Enough of that shit already! Jesus, Aruma!
Qua, you're afraid of cats, Kazumi? I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan of them myself. Just since, you give them a bit to nibble and they end up munching on you.
You know what? Forget I asked.
So, you two are both in your rooms for the night?
That's right.
Indeed.
Well, make that 3. I didn't leave my room either.
I hope you don't mind if I make it a 4.
Then I must add on to this number count and become number 5.
6.
And I'm 7, I guess.
Wait, why can't we all just be number 1?
Because that's not how the numeric system works, Narumi.
Well, make me number whatever then.
You mean number 8?
I guess. I mean, I didn't really go anywhere either. After the meeting, I just went straight to my room.
Maybe we should start with questioning whoever wasn't at the meeting.
Which would be Akira, Mitsunari, and Kego.
So, what were you 3 doing during the meeting?
There was a meeting?
I did go and inform everyone, but you probably didn't hear me over your sickening music.
There's no need to be so rude about it.
So, Kego, what were you doing during the meeting?
Well, I don't really know what time the meeting was.
It commenced at 9 p.m. last night and finished around 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, I was definitely in my room then.
Can you or anyone else prove that?
Well, no, but...
Then why waste our time with something that could be so easily faked? Moving on. Akira, try and make it quick.
I was in my room, ma'am.
Honing his talent, I suppose.
Shut up. No need for useless blabber at this point. Mitsunari, if your alibi involves your puppets, don't even bother.
I feel like this is some sort of discrimination.
We'll totally sue your ass for this.
Come on, everyone. Please behave.
I'm sorry, Daddy.
Next time, you little punk.
Motion to remove Mitsunari's puppets while we're in the courtroom.
Motion denied. Let's not make more trouble than there needs to be.
So, the alibis don't prove anything. The evidence we have on hand doesn't prove anything. I have to say, it was a pleasure meeting you all. Especially you, Ms. Fujimori. I hope the next life treats you better than this one.
Wait, Saiji, are you giving up?
Well, what other choice is there? We've lost the class trial. We may as well get the voting done with now.
Hell no! I'm not dying in this shithole!
But there's nothing to go on with. No useful alibis. No evidence. Not even a possible sighting of the killer. It's a lost cause. We played right into Headmaster Monodora's trap. This is what he was talking about. This is despair.
What's going on? Why is Saiji suddenly saying that we're doomed? This isn't like him at all. Or maybe this is the real him? That doesn't matter right now. I have to show everyone that there's still some hope.
We've lost the class trial. We may as well get the voting done with now.
Hell no! I'm not dying in this shithole!
But there's nothing to go on with. No useful alibis. No evidence. Not even a possible sighting of the killer.
No! That's wrong! Saiji, we can't just give up yet. I think that someone here might have heard the killer.
Ah, I see. You mean to refer to what I heard, correct?
Yeah, when we were investigating the trash zone, you said that you heard someone while you were in the bathhouse with Kasumi.
We were mostly uninterrupted. However...
Yeah?
There was a point during the night where I heard someone loitering around the halls. I was unable to make out the owner of that voice, but I did make out their tone and a few of their words. I don't see why you bring this up now, Ayumi, seeing as it seemed unrelated to this case. The only similarity is that the murder occurred in the same night.
Anything would help at this point. Please tell us what you heard.
Well, the owner of the voice sounded quite annoyed, possibly even angry. And they said, and I quote, why did she tell me that? I admit it does sound quite ominous looking back on it. However, I was not going to leave Kasumi alone to investigate, especially not in an environment like this.
That implies that I would have let you leave.
So what do you think, Saiji? Is this good enough to figure out who the killer is?
He's not the only one whose life hinges on this class trial, you know. And assuming that this testimony is reliable and relevant, well, we'll see.
Well, we know that Ms. Izumo and Ms. Aisaka are both innocent, due to neither of them leaving the bathhouse for the entire night. So Ms. Aisaka's account definitely ticks the box of being reliable. Being relevant, though, that's another story.
Marine thinks that we should figure out the meaning behind those words.
So, an analysis? Tell them, Ayumu.
Me?
Tell them the meaning behind what Misuzu heard.
Well, let's break the sentence down a bit. First of all, who's she? I got it! Well, assuming that what Misuzu heard was related to the case, then the only person I can think of being she would be Maiko.
Why couldn't the person saying it be Maiko? And she refers to the killer.
Unless anyone wants to confess now to saying that. Though I can't imagine someone wanting to help me out.
Misuzu, what time would you roughly say you heard the voice at?
Well, we were coming straight back from the group meeting which had ended at 10:30 p.m. Then Kasumi tried to summon a few spirits.
Hey, I'm Rusty, okay?
So I'd say it would be around 11:30 p.m.
Which means it couldn't have been Ms. Kagura.
Yeah, because the Monodora file says that Maiko died around 11 p.m. So the voice definitely isn't Maiko, but she probably is.
Keep going, Ayumu.
If no one's coming out and saying that they're the owner of the voice, that probably means that me is... I got it! Me definitely refers to the owner of the voice.
Obviously. Have any more insightful observations to tell us?
Well, it makes sense to me that the owner of the voice is also the killer.
If only I listened closer. I'm so sorry, everyone.
There's no need to apologize. You did what anyone else would have done.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up about it.
Thank you.
So, Imu, knowing everything we know, what's that?
If Maiko is she, and the killer is me, then could that be... That could be...
Come on, we're waiting!
Ayumu, do you actually know what that is?
Come on, Ayumu. What's that? That could be... I don't know. We're so close, and I don't know.
No, that's wrong!
Hello? You again?
I think you just stole someone else's catchphrase.
Ms. Fujimori, it's clear that you're struggling with figuring out what that is.
And don't even try to lie about it.
But you don't have to worry about that. Because we already know who the killer is.
Huh?
The culprit behind Ms. Kagura's murder. Thanks to Ms. Aisaka, they have suddenly become clear. And you've realized it too, haven't you? There's only one person who could have said that in the hallway.
Wait, you don't mean...
You figured it out. Huh. Took you a while.
Well, Ayumu, who is it?
Marin forecasts that whoever Ayumu-chan names is definitely the killer. Hello?
I don't want to call them out on this. I don't even want to be right. To call out this person based solely on a guess. But it's all of our lives against this person's. And the only person that the killer could be is... It has to be you.